Tractor information for you guys who might be looking at a l295 or l245dt. Also the older ones in the 80s. I'll just kind of tell you what the differences are, what I found out. I'm not an expert with tractors, but I had to read up a lot on these things and try and figure it out when I was buying this thing. The l245 is almost exactly the same tractor as the l295, except it's just everything's a little bit smaller. The motor's a little less horsepower, it's a little bit lighter, and it's everything. The parts kind of are similar, but they don't quite interchange. Like you can't put a loader from a l245, I don't think, on a l295. You can't put the backhoe from one on the other because it's a bigger tractor. The l295 is bigger. So let me go over a few things about operation for you guys who are pretty much new. I bought this tractor used and it was pretty beat up, and I painted, you can see this part's here, it's kind of peach because I painted it with some Home Depot paint that I just made up, or some it's Rust-Oleum, because it was pretty rusty and I wanted to keep it from getting worse. So eventually I'm going to take this thing apart and repaint it, rebuild some more of the hydraulics on it, and other than that, it works pretty well. The loader leaks really bad. I mean, the backhoe leaks really bad. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to do right away here. Change out the cylinder hydraulics on all three of the backhoe implement parts, which isn't that hard. I'll probably do a video on that. But anyway, let me go over a couple things. This is basically, of course, normally the clutch pedal here. The brake pedal has two halves to it, so you can brake your left wheel for turning, brake your right wheel for turning, and then it has a little lever that you can flip over and attach them both together. I don't know anything about this stuff here for the attachment, because I don't have anything other than backhoe on this thing. Probably won't need anything other than backhoe because I'm not doing anything. I wish I had it used to have a scraper that somebody stole off the guy's property before I got it. So you got your 2- and 4-wheel drive lever here, in case your stuff's missing on yours. I don't remember if it's up or down in 2- or 4-wheel drive. I think it's up as 2-wheel drive, down as 4-wheel drive. I just have to play with it and figure it out. This is your high and low range, in case it's worn off, you can't read it. This here is your gas pedal, shifter for the transmission. Shift forks are really loose on this guy. This is your PTO. So it has 3 speeds in the PTO and neutral. And this is also your secondary throttle hold lever to so if you want to keep your throttle up high, you can just put this here like that. It'll run at a higher RPM, so you don't have to keep stepping on the gas, or if you're operating the backhoe. These are here for your loader. This lifts the whole thing up and down. This is your bucket tilt. This tractor, this obviously, if you look at this big giant thing, I'm pretty sure this has been changed, and at some point somebody just put this bigger guy on here because it doesn't look right. It's way too big for this tractor, and it doesn't operate that well. It's very, very touchy. Okay, one of the first things you want to do if you ever start your tractor is check your oil when you start your tractor. So I just reach in here because I know right where it is. Pull this fella out, give her a look. Looks like it's got a pretty good amount of oil in it. It's between the 2 lines. I don't know if you can even read that, but probably not. Definitely it's between the lines, and it is definitely clean. One of the things, if you're looking at buying one of these, that happens a lot on the DTs, double traction, that means DT, double traction, four-wheel drive, same thing. Alright, is these bolts right here. See this bolt right here? That one down there? Those tend to snap off. Because they get loose. And so you should check these periodically if you own the tractor. Check mine, check they're loose. No. They'll have lock washers on them. That's a locking bolt up in the top one. Because when I got mine, they were loose, and what happened is the case on the, and this happens all the time on this tractor, the case on this oil pan tends to break in half. It cracks right here, and like mine, you can put it in, so it's leaking just a little bit, but not much, not enough. When I welded it up, I must have pinholed it somewhere, but because it's cast, it's real hard to weld cast. You can't get a perfect weld on it, but it's all right. You know, it doesn't leak much at all, just a little drip every once in a while, like every 2 or 3 days it drips once, so it's not bad. So anyway, take a look at that, make sure, because boy, I tell you what, it is a big job to take that off. You got to take the whole front of the tractor off. It was not that bad, but just keep that in mind when you're buying it. Couple other things to look at. Hydraulic leaks are, your cylinders can be leaky, but that's actually not too hard of a job if you do it yourself. You take them apart and you go to Burnell or something, and where we are, and you can just buy the seals. Not expensive really. It costs you $50 a cylinder to do. The hoses, they sell them on eBay real cheap, not bad. The hoses anywhere else are going to cost you a fortune. So there's a guy on eBay that sells them. Let me show you how to start this thing. So I haven't started this tractor in, oh god, weeks, and it usually starts right up, so let's hope it does. So turn it on. Only way I know it's on is because none of the other gauges work, not right now. And then you turn this backwards, and what that does is that warms up your glow plugs, and you'll see some smoke or something coming out of here maybe in a minute. I usually turn off for about 20-30 seconds. You can see it runs good. I don't have any problem with it. I had to do a lot of work to get it like this. Raise the throttle up, raise your loader up. Loader down. Now this is the tricky part. This tractor, you got to be real careful. It's real touchy. Well, this thing that's nice about a l295, I'll go ahead and shut this off. Shut it off. Turn your key off. Pull up on your throttle. Shuts off the fuel. It shuts the motor off. But anyway, if you are looking at one of these to buy, you can see a 295 or 2L245. The nice thing about a bigger tractor, and this isn't that big where you can put it in I put it in a dump trailer, carry it around, but it's real heavy in that dump trailer. It kind of maxes it out. Is the weight of the tractor is very helpful if you are trying to dig. If you have more weight, it's a little bit helpful if you have hard dirt to have more weight. Little horsepower is nice, but weight's kind of your friend. So some of these little tractors, little tiny ones, they're not heavy enough. You go to dig with a backhoe and you're lifting up the tractor every time you dig the hole, so keep that in mind. Alright, just a little bit of a ditty on tractor. I'll do a video a little bit later on operating it, using it, maybe digging with it. with a GoPro and let you guys check that out. So tune in and take a look, and if you're looking at tractors, if you like them, I got a pretty good deal on this one, but it was really in bad shape when I got it. So I can't really say how much it was because it was in such bad shape. It's not even the same tractor now as it was when I got it. So no, it didn't get for no $2,000 or $3,000. They're a lot more than that, guys. I mean, new one like this is about 30, so you can figure if you got it for half of that, you know, it's not the greatest deal, but you can get it for a lot less than that and still be okay on one of these old ones, especially if it has got good tires. Look at the tires on this, have good tread. And that's another thing, you get those tires, you know, they're not cheap. So you can flip these rims around. You'll see some of them, I noticed that I think you can flip around. They had the wheel going the other way, I believe, because I seen the wheel sticking way out in the same tractor, and I think they just flip. Let me see if they do. Yeah, I think you can flip them around. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know if you could. It's got a pretty big hub in there, and these things stick in. So maybe they gave you two different options on the wheels. I don't know, because I seen some of them with wider looking wheels in the front. This is a l295dt. All right, double traction. Ta-da! That's what that is. DT, double traction, 4-wheel drive, same thing. All right.